There's a survivalist by the name of Tom Brown, and he does a series of wilderness survival books, and they're quite something to behold. Definitely recommend reading through them. Um, I've studied them through, and I've had wilderness survival training myself. And the thing that sticks out for me on this morning is what he calls splatter vision. And it's where you take your focus off of one particular thing and you just sit and you notice what's around you. And if you sit there long enough, then you start to hear wildlife. You start to see the critters of the forest. And you start to see things that you wouldn't normally have otherwise seen because you're too busy running through, rushing ahead, or just trying to get somewhere. And I think with all of our relationships, sometimes we have such a diamond bullet focus ahead of us, or maybe we're too focused on one person, that we need to maybe practice splatter vision a bit more in our daily life. And what that can look like is the art of letting go. When we have personalities that are around us that are trying to dictate who we are, or rather would prefer that we're a cardboard cutout of who they want us to be, it's painful and you lose yourself. And you don't stop to listen to what's around you. You don't start to hear the sound of your own heartbeat. You don't notice what's around you. You don't notice the critters in the forest or the things that are of beauty that you might see otherwise. Maybe the parts of you that God is supposed to be enhancing or showing you, but you're somehow unable to because the voices of others are drowning you out. You know, I spent some time in a sensory deprivation tank. I try and do it once a month, actually. And once you've been in there long enough, you can hear your own heartbeat. And it's quite something because you think, well, I mean, what's that? Of course I can hear my heartbeat, but it's quite something when you can't see, can't hear, and you're floating in this, just weightless environment, and you hear your own heartbeat. It's an individual thing. And it's almost like the Lord is just saying, I hear you. I see you. This is your life that I have given you. And that's the thing about splatter vision, is that when you start to take your focus off of one person or one thing and you start to look at what's around you, you can see things in your environment that will harm you or people that harm you. And if you let them go, you might just become the person that you're meant to be. I find often that, I catch myself in situations where I look at someone around me or look at people around me and I'm thinking, well, what can I do for them? How can I love them? And that's not a bad thing. I think we all need to be able to take a step back and love one another with eyes wide open and with much grace and much mercy, just as God does for us. But there are times where we have to recognize we can't lose ourselves in the process. We can't lose who we are and become like somebody else. No, we got to have splatter vision when we walk through life. Taking a moment, taking a beat, taking a step back, just noticing what God is doing out there around you, maybe in the lives of other people that you can't see because you're so stuck in fight or flight that you don't know which way is up. You're so stuck trying to please someone else that you have no idea who you are anymore. Maybe you're just in a place where you feel like you've been constrained for too many years. Now it's time to go. So let go. Let God. There's a passage in the Bible that just says, be still and know that I am God. And I think it's that stillness that we ignore just a little too often. We don't have the gift of silence. We don't have the gift of reflection because we're just too busy being on the go, trying to figure out what to do next, who to be next, how can we please whoever is next in our lives. We have to be in this place where we can find out who we are in the light of God, in the light of who He's made us to be. And in this beautiful environment that I'm right now in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, which is not a place I live, but I look around and I'm having splatter vision and I'm noticing the waves, the water. I'm noticing the sunlight reflecting. And it reminds me of a song, Bruce Cockburn's song, who am I going to see in concert tomorrow night, actually, in Seattle with my eldest son, Nick. And it's called All the Diamonds. And it's just this beautiful song about the day that he met Jesus, and he saw that all the diamonds that he cares about in this world are the ones that are made up in the ocean with the sun reflection, just like diamonds, little points of light. And so I guess what I was brought to talk about today was not only that peace that we feel that we can have when we have splatter vision and take a moment to see who we are in the light of God. But even more so, how much can you shine brightly? How much can you be all that you're meant to be in God, all He's created you to be for this place, when no one is telling you who that must be, when no one is constraining you from who you're meant to be, when no one is confining you? What happens when you're free and you look around and you see all of the goodness and glory and beauty around you? When you step out of fight or flight and your heart's allowed to slow and you can hear your own heartbeat, maybe for the first time. It's something to consider. So I'm going to end this video with about 8 minutes of just a peaceful lakeside scene on Coeur d'Alene. And I hope you'll just take a moment to just breathe and think upon how your Creator has made you to be so much more than who we are right now. And all we have to do is let go. And sometimes it's to let go of people. Maybe even more importantly so, it's to let go of ourselves.